الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أكرمه بالنبوة وجعله رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالتك، وصل على وصيه وأخيه أمير المؤمنين، وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم المهدي، حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا سقما إلا شفيته، ولا عيبا إلا سترته، ولا رزقا إلا بسطته، ولا خوفا إلا أمنته، ولا سوءا إلا صرفته، ولا حاجة هي لك رضا ولي فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Last week I mentioned that in the beginning of the new year, there are some people who are busy with fun and festivals, but for a lot of people, New Year is also a time of fear and concern, whether the concern about some natural disasters, as we are going through so many sad news from fire in Australia to flood in certain countries and earthquake, or human disasters that bring more pain and suffering, whether it is oppression, whether it is corruption or hypocrisy. So there is a feeling of fear in the beginning of a new year, because we are facing the threats of the nature, and we are also targeted by human threats: al-dhulm, al-fasad, al-nifaq. These are three major tragedies by human being, because we know for sure that God is not zalim. Inna Allah la yadhlimu mithqala dharratin. God is not hurting anybody even at the size of atom. The God that we believe, He is adil, He is just. وَمَا ظَلَمْنَاهُمْ وَلَكِنْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. Is not God who oppresses anybody, but human beings, they are oppressing themselves. I was looking at the Quran. There are over 300 verses about oppression. Also, we have verses about oppression in other Abrahamic faith traditions, but I chose only 12 short verses from the Quran, condemnation of injustice. Wallahu la yuhibbu dhalimin. He doesn't like the oppressors. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-dhalimin. The dhalimin, the oppressors, they deprive themselves from guidance and direction in life. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحْ الظَّالِمُونَ. The oppressors cannot celebrate salvation. They deprived themselves from salvation. Verse number 4, وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. The Zalimin are the real losers. They think that they are gaining something, but they are losing. Number 5, فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْ عَذَابِ يَوْمٍ أَلِيمٍ. Allah is warning the Zalimin of a very painful punishment on the day of meeting with the Lord, the day of resurrection. Number 6, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ الظَّالِمِينَ مَعْذِرَتُهُم. On that day, no matter how much they say, oh God, I'm sorry, I apologize, I know I did wrong, it's too late. If you had said this in dunya, when you were alive, that was different situation. فَمَنْ تَابَ مِنْ بَعْدِ ظُلْمِهِ وَأَصْلَحَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَتُوبُ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. God is forgiving. But if you do it now, if you say, sorry Lord, I did something wrong, and I'm ready to do whatever is haqqun nas, to respect people's right, God would accept their repentance in this dunya, but not later. Ayah number 8 says, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمُونَ إِنَّمَا يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ لِيَوْمٍ تَشْخَصُ فِيهِ الْأَبْصَارِ. Don't think that God is sleeping and He doesn't know what's going on in this world. He's watching. He's watching Trump, He's watching Netanyahu, He's watching Ben Salman, He's watching everybody. He's watching you, He's watching me. But if He delays to discipline the Zalimin, it's just, there is a time and there is a right time that the eyes of the oppressors are terrorized to see the consequences of their actions. Ayah number 9, وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذِ الظَّالِمُونَ فِي غَمَرَاتِ الْمَوْتِ. If you see when the angels come to take the lives of the oppressor and how depressed they are, when they hear the angel said, your time is over, no more lie, no more arrogance, no more oppression, let's go. That time is coming for this kind of individual. Number 10, فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الظَّالِمِينَ. Even if you don't see the Zalimin, certain Zalimin go and see at the end, look at the end. What happened to Sharon? You know, remember Sharon, he was walking and he thought that he is like marching the universe. So what happened really? عَاقِبَةُ الظَّالِمِينَ. Number 11, عَلَى لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. God is cursing and condemning the oppressors. And number 12, finally, he says, وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلَبُونَ. They soon, سَيَعْلَم, in this letter sin, when it comes with the feral, سَيَعْلَم means very soon. Because they think, oh, it's long time, it's, later. But no, سَيَعْلَم, very soon they know. أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ. They realize that their new location, their new place, a painful place, they would realize it. So number 1, human tragedy, dhulm and oppression, injustice. And God is warning humanity about that. Number 2, He is saying that those who are making corruption, troublemakers on this planet, He says, لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Stop corrupting this planet. Wallahu la yuhibbul fasad. Don't you know that God is against corruption? And He knows and He tells us that إِنَّ الْمُلُوكَ إِذَا دَخَلُوا قَرْيَةً أَفْسَدُوهَا. The people of power, when they occupy a place, they corrupt the entire area. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. They destroy everything. Look at what happened in everywhere that politics and power, whether it was in Afghanistan, destroy everything, in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen. This is exactly what God is telling us. But after dhulm wal fasad, something even more evil, that is an-nifaq. إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار ولن تجد لهم نصيرا. Why is it that the hypocrites are located on the lowest level of hellfire? Because not only they oppress, not only they corrupt, but even they lie about it. That is even worse. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. You tell them stop corruption. They say, oh no, we are for reformation. We are there to fix the thing. We are there to correct everything. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They are really the corrupt makers. But now they are also ignorant. There are a lot of people say, yeah, we are going to fix this. They are talking too much. They are talking out of their لا يعلمون لا يشعرون, out of their ignorance. Even if they blame such a thing. This is why Allah in Surah Al-Munafiqeen, one chapter under Al-Munafiqun in Quran, right? Number 63. إِذَا جَاءَكَ الْمُنَافِقُونَ قَالُوا نَشْهَدُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُهُ وَاللَّهُ يَشْهَدُ إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَكَاذِبُونَ. One of the qualities of the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, is that they lie. And that's the problem. They say, we are going to go and, fight terrorism. You see, and then we realize that that was a lie. We are going to, remove the dictatorship. That was another lie. We are going to fix the thing and correct the community and the country. This is why somebody named David Swanson, or Swanson, he wrote a book. He says, war is a lie. War is a lie. I mean, look at the history of the wars. They started from a lie. The first lie is that we are there to defend ourselves. I mean, if you are defending your house, you should be in your house and defend your house. But the time that you go to the house of your neighbor and you start fighting there, that is aggression. You are not defending. If you are defending, stay in your house and defend your house. You are in different territories. He says that is the first lie. I'm glad that there are some honorable people that they are telling the truth. This Senator Sanders, I mean, he's a Jewish guy. But not everybody who is Jewish, he loves Netanyahu. There are lots of Jews that they support Israel. But not every members of Jewish community is necessarily supporting occupation or supporting oppression. It's not the case. There are always people who stand for the truth. I heard him recently saying that, look at Vietnam, we lost 59,000 American soldiers. What happened? He said the Vietnam War, the story of Gulf of Tonkin, was a big lie. They started from that. That was the foundation. We lost that many soldiers and we killed millions of people. All started with a big lie. He said, look at the Iraq's invasion and war in Iraq. That started with another lie. He said, this is weapon of mass destruction. That was another lie. That was another one. And this is why, brothers and sisters, it's not just Trump problem. These days we are talking about Trump. But look at the time of Obama. What happened in Libya? What happened in Syria? That was the previous administration. And before Obama, Bush. Bush the son, Bush the father, is the same policies that been continuing for a long time. This is why now when in Congress yesterday we were talking about limiting the power of president in starting a war, and then Trump started laughing at, and they approve it. But now the White House said, this is ridiculous, nobody pays attention. How can you stand against the Congress of the country? Because we have this fundamental problem in the foreign policy to begin with. I was reading an article in Washington Post just this morning. This is by Jim Webb. This guy himself fought in Vietnam. He was the Secretary of Navy under Reagan, and he was senator between 2007 and 2013. And he is talking about what just happened in Iraq. He said, you cannot go and call an army of another country as a terrorist. Then the entire system should be terrorist. I mean, he is part of government. He said, this is different from Al-Qaeda or ISIS, that they are just irresponsible terrorist organizations. Now you are talking about a commander that leading an army that's part of a government that is not in the formal war with the United States. How can you do that? And then you see the poor Prime Minister of Iraq. He said, this guy was our guest. It is a political assassination. This is attacking our sovereignty. Nobody pays attention. So there is something fundamentally wrong, Jim Webb says, with our foreign policy. That's the guy who's supposed to be in charge of diplomacy. Who is that? Mike Pompeo, right? He is the highest diplomat of the country. He is the one who should handle the diplomacy and dialogue, but then he is #1 in promoting war. So what kind of diplomat you are that you are pushing? They are saying that in the case of attack in Iraq, that the Iranian and Iraqi generals were targeted and killed. Pompeo was pushing Trump to do so. My goodness, you are Secretary of State and should give diplomatic advice to the president, but they are pushing him to fight something wrong. I want you to go online later and look at some of the presentation of this man, Larry Wilkerson. Wilkerson, he talks about lots of this issue because he was in the State Department at the time of Bush, working with Colonel Powell at that time, and now he is extremely sorry of the thing that happened at that time. He said, God, I wish I had resigned at that time. When you listen to this statement, and it's good, one of the good things in this country, and I hope that one day these words of wisdom be everywhere and correct the foreign policy and the problems in this country and the world. They are saying that you did this stupid thing over there. Look at China. They are not fighting anybody. They are not losing any soldier. But they are taking the business of the world. But you are losing the soldiers, killing other people, spending trillions and trillions of dollars, and become more hated in the whole world, and losing all the minds and all the hearts. What foolish policy is this? There are people who are talking about this, that China is really winning the world, and you are losing because of these stupid foreign policies that some warmongers are promoting. Now the good thing is that in lecture of Trump just 2 days ago on Wednesday, he said that now we and Iran, we can work together against ISIS. Wow. He said, we want peace with Iran. We want prosperity for Iran. He said, wonderful words, right? Wonderful words. But if you walk this talk, in the same lecture that he talks about working together, peace and prosperity, he said, I'm going to add more sanction on Iran. And right away, he opened the door and right away he closes the door. Door of diplomacy is open. Now, in 2 minutes from now, the doors of diplomacy are closed. What about this? This is really, really tragic. But what is your duty, my duty, brothers and sisters? Our duty is that bring this culture that we learned from the Quran. Anti-oppression, anti-injustice, anti-corruption, and anti-hypocrisy. Al-dhulm, al-fasad, and nifaq. These are three fundamental spiritual diseases in human hearts that we need to remove these diseases. And we have to start it from our family. Start it from our children. If we can raise families and generation that they stand for justice, stand for peace, stand for honesty, then we are doing a good job. If our children learn, if our children read, if they reflect, if they reform, reading, reflecting, reforming, yes, and revolutionize their mind, then we are doing a good job. So be careful when there is a boy or a girl in our house and say, oh, you know, he is just a child. She is just a, baby now. Let them have fun. Later on they grow up and they learn what is right, what is wrong. No. Let them watch any movie. Let them have game. Let them have YouTube. Let them have total freedom of access to internet, do whatever, any magazine. They read whatever they want to read. They eat whatever they want to eat. They drink whatever they want to drink. They say whatever they want to say. They go whenever they want to go. Because that's a cue. Just let them do so. No, that is poison. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. We cannot just leave our responsibility not to raise these kids so they know that dhulm is wrong, oppression and injustice is evil, lying and hypocrisy evil, corruption is evil. They have to stand for peace, justice, truth, and honesty. So that is something that we should do in our family to deal with these spiritual diseases. And at the same time, of course, we have to do some outreach, because Quran is telling us, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. If you are faithfully promote what is good and prevent what is evil, then you are the best ummah, the best ummah. Are you looking for salvation? Are you looking for civilization? Are you looking for al-falah? That is the solution. وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Who are the muflihun, the people of salvation and civilization? The one who يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. When you see dhulm, والنفاق والفساد, when we see these three diseases, oppression, hypocrisy, and corruption, then try to stop it. But when you see peace, justice, and honesty, promote it and support it. That's what we are doing. But unfortunately, not everybody understands. You know, I was really disappointed just a couple of days ago that I was communicating with Interfaith. We had a huge, some of you are aware, Interfaith press conference, anti-war. War in Iran, war in Iraq, war in Yemen, war in Afghanistan, war in Middle East, war in Africa, anywhere. We are anti all the wars that start with lie and hypocrisy. When I send this press announcement through different channels, and even the Imam's channels, I got a text from one of the Imams from different school of thought that he was saying that please why you send this to this network? Just send it to the personal. And I know this man, and I had some respect for him. But I was very, very disappointed that I had to answer. I said, brother, now I realize that there are some Christians that they are more Muslims than you are. You say you are Muslim and you are Imam, and now these Christians are supporting and coming to the mosque to say that they are anti-oppression, anti-war. And you are not only won't come, but you are against even this announcement. And in this announcement, I didn't mention anybody. I didn't mention like General Soleimani or General Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis or those soldiers, 25 soldiers killed in Iraq, or didn't mention any of this. Probably you saw the press announcement. It was just about saying no to war, no to aggression. I said, how you as an Imam who said Islam is a religion of peace, how can you be against that? Just because I'm coming from different background, so you don't like it? I said, so are you saying that you are supporting a war in the Middle East? This is really what you are telling me? Now you can understand the depth of this disease, that sometimes we say Islamophobia, that Muslims, some non-Muslims, some of them are ignorant about our values. But now I'm talking about a Muslim, I'm talking about an Imam. I told him in that text, I said, you know, I used to enjoy even your prayer and your recitation. But now you are making me not even to enjoy your recitation anymore. And I mentioned two sentences from Imam Ali. I said that صدق مولانا وإمامنا وسيدنا أمير المؤمنين عليه الصلاة والسلام عندما قال في تغلب الأحوال علم جواهر الرجال. When you go through this transformation and tragedies, you realize who is man and who is not, who is honest and who is not. And I said, you are a good reciters, but لا خير في قراءة لا تدبر فيها. Imam Ali says, what if you recite, but you don't reflect? Recitation without reflection, it is just أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع, is not useful. So brothers and sisters, we have these two responsibilities to deal with this human tragedies through raising a right generation, that they stand for ma'ruf and against al-munkar, and also do outreach as much as we can. It's going to be a day that these words of wisdom, whether by Sanders or David or Webb or anybody, there is going to be a day in America that the majority of this nation would stand for wisdom, would stand with the words of Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy. There is going to be a day. Probably you and I won't be in this world at that time, but it's coming. And for that reason, we have responsibility to promote the ways of wisdom, the words of wisdom, the truthfulness, the trustworthiness. This is our duty, to practice this in our family and house, and to promote it in our society. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات.